Alright, so here we're doing prime factors, and this is probably the first section of Math 10, the new section. And it's very important to be able to know what factors are, so if you're still confused about that, please go watch that video, okay? So prime factors, basically we're going to find the factors of 45, but they all need to be prime numbers. So again, if you don't know what a prime number is, go watch that video. So we're looking at 45, and what's important to know here is that you might take a different route than me, but you're still going to end up with the same answer, okay? So we're going to think of the numbers that make up 45, and we're going to use the tree strategy, which I think is the best one to use, okay? So 45, you need to think of two numbers that make up 45. The first two that I'm thinking of is 9 and 5. If you thought of 15 times 3, it's fine. You're going to end up with the same answer as me. So I'm going to do 9 times 5, okay? And so I'm starting my tree. Then I need to look at my factors and figure out if they're prime factors. If they were, I'm done. But here they're not. If you look at 5, yes it is, but 9 is not a prime number. So I need to open it up again to the next multiplication that I'm thinking of. So 9 is 3 times 3, okay? And 5, there's nothing I can do with 5. 5 is a prime number. So I'm just bringing it down so that they're all at the same level. If I look at my numbers now, or my factors now, they're all prime numbers. 3 is a prime number, and 5 is a prime number. So my final answer can be written as a multiplication of prime numbers. All right, so 3 times 3 times 5. This is the right answer. Your teacher could be asking you a multiplication of prime numbers. And what's good about this is you can check your answer after. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 5 is 45. You're good to go, all right? She could also ask you to write as product of powers, okay? And so what that means is if you have a group of the same number, like 3 times 3, you need to put them together and then write as a power. And a power is a base and an exponent. So we have 3 to the power of 2 times 5. These two are correct. The only way you could lose points is if your teacher specifies she wants you to write it like this and you write it like this. You'd lose 0.5. All right? Okay, we're going to do an example now. What are the prime numbers of 120, sorry. So this one is bigger, okay? And maybe your first step is going to be different because you're going to think of two other numbers than I'm thinking of that makes 120. What I like to do here, though, is if the number finishes with a 0, I always do the 10, all right? So we know that 12 times 10 makes 120. You could have said 60 times 2, okay? It doesn't matter. At the end, we're going to end up with prime factors, prime numbers. So I know that 12 is not a prime number, and I know that 10 is not a prime number, so I need to go again. Again, 12, you could use 6 times 2, you could use 3 times 4, it doesn't matter. We're going to end up at the same answer. So I'm going to use 3 times 4, okay? And for 10, 5 times 2. So if I look at now my factors, I have 3, 4, 5, and 2. There's only one that's not a prime number, and that's the 4, okay? So 3 is a prime number, I'm going to bring it down. 4 I can separate into 2 times 2. 5 is a prime number, and 2 is a prime number. Okay? And so I end up with all prime numbers, and these are all factors of 120. So if your teacher asks you to write it as just a multiplication of prime numbers, you can write 3 times 2 times 2 times 2, try to put all your numbers together. So even if you put the 2 first, it doesn't matter as long as there's a multiplication in between. And if I want product of powers, okay, I see that I have 3 2's here. So I have 3 times 2 to the power of 3 times 5. Both are correct. All right?